Hey everyone, and welcome back to VJ's English Club. Selamat datang kembali. So today we're going to be talking about some really useful words in English. I like to call them power words, kata-kata yang punya kekuatan. They're called modal verbs, or as we say in Bahasa Indonesia, kata modal. And believe me, learning these is your secret key to making your English sound so much more natural and confident.
So, what's our game plan for today? Ini dia peta jalan kita. First, we're going to answer the question, what are modal verbs? Then we'll get to know all the main ones. After that, I've got two super important rules you've got to remember. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with a quick summary and some motivation to keep you going. Sound good? Okay, let's jump in.
All right, first things first. Part 1, what are modal verbs? Apa sih sebenarnya kata modal itu? You've probably seen and heard these words 1,000 times, but today we're going to get really clear on what they do.
So the easiest way to think about modal verbs is that they are special helper verbs. Anggap saja mereka ini kata kerja bantu yang special. They team up with the main verb in a sentence to add a specific meaning, like possibility, ability, or permission. And here is the golden rule. You have to remember this. Modal verbs are always followed by the basic form of the verb. We call it verb 1. Selalu diikuti oleh kata kerja bentuk pertama. That means no S, no ED, no ING. Super simple, right?
Okay, take a quick look at this table. This is basically a summary of all the modal verbs we're going to cover today. In ringkasannya ya, you can see each modal and what it's mainly used for. But hey, don't feel like you have to memorize all of this right now. We're going to break it all down step by step. Just think of this as your quick cheat sheet. Anggap saja ini contekan cepat kalian.
And now for the main event, Part 2, the main modal verbs, kata modal utama. This is where the real learning begins. Let's meet these power words one by one. First up, we have can and could. Can is all about ability in the present. Kemampuan saat ini. For example, I can play the guitar. You can also use it for informal permission, with your friends. Hey, can I borrow your charger? Now, could is usually for ability in the past. Kemampuan di masa lalu. Like when I was younger, I could run very fast. But could has another important job. It's a more polite way to make a request. So saying, could you please help me, sounds much nicer than just, can you help me? It's much more polite. Terdengar jauh lebih sopan.
Next up are will and would. Will is your go-to word for the future, masa depan. You can use it for predictions, I think our team will win, or for making a quick, spontaneous offer. Like if you see your friend carrying a lot of books, you can say, wait, I will help you. Now would takes politeness up another level. Ini lebih sopan lagi. It's perfect for making offers and invitations. Would you like some tea? Or would you like to study together? It just sounds so much friendlier.
Okay, let's talk about may and might. Both of these express possibility, kemungkinan. We use may when we think there's a good chance something will happen. Hurry up, we may be late for school. May is also the very formal way to ask for permission. For example, to a teacher, you would say, may I ask a question? Now, we use might when we're a little less sure about something. Kalau tidak begitu yakin. So if you say, I might watch a movie tonight, it means maybe, maybe not. Belum pasti.
Now, for the heavy hitters, must and have to. Both of these are about obligation, or kewajiban. But here's the key difference. Must is usually for an obligation that comes from the inside, from you, sesuatu yang datang dari dalam diri. For example, I must finish this project tonight. It's your own strong feeling. Have to, on the other hand, is for an external rule, aturan dari luar. For instance, at this school, students have to wear shoes. It's not a personal feeling, it's the rule. See the difference?
And our last pair for today, should and ought to. These two are super simple. We use both of them to give advice or a recommendation, untuk memberikan saran. And guess what? They mean almost exactly the same thing. So if your friend says they're always tired, you can say, you should get more sleep, or you ought to get more sleep. Both are perfect ways to give some good advice. You are all doing an amazing job. Seriously. Now, let's move on to our next section. Two very important rules. Dua aturan penting. If you can remember these two things, you'll avoid the most common mistakes people make with modal verbs. So, listen closely. Rule number 1. This is a big one. After a modal verb, we do not use the word to. So, you say, she can sing. You do not say, she can too sing. Nope. Or, we should study. Not, we should too study. It's always modal plus the base verb. The only exceptions are have to and ought to, because the to is already part of the phrase.
Easy to remember, right?
And rule number 2. This is so important. What is the difference between mustn't and don't have to? Well, they are completely different. Mustn't means something is prohibited. Dilarang. It's a strong no, like a rule. You mustn't be late for the exam. But don't have to means there is no obligation. Tidak wajib. You have a choice. You don't have to do the extra homework. So mustn't is like a stop sign, and don't have to is just an option. That's a huge difference.
And just like that, we're at our last section, summary and final motivation. Wow, we have covered so much, and you've done a fantastic job of keeping up. Kalian hebet! So let's do one final quick review and then finish with a little inspiration. All right, let's do the lightning round summary. You ready? Can and could are for ability and permission. Yes. Will and would, future and politeness. May and might, that's possibility. Must and have to, that's obligation. And last one, should and ought to are for advice. Perfect. See? You've got this.
And I want to leave you with this one final thought. Learning grammar is a lot like building an airplane. Belajar tata bahasa itu seperti membangun pesawat. Every single modal verb we learned today, it's a vital part of that airplane. It's an engine part or a wing that will help you fly high and communicate your ideas clearly and with confidence. That's the real power of these words.
And that's all for today. Thank you so much for learning with me here at VJ's English Club. Terima kasih banyak. Now it's your turn. Your mission is to try using these modal verbs this week. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. Semakin sering dipakai, semakin terasa alami. Keep practicing every day. You can do this. Kalian pasti bisa. I'll see you next time.